gonna have to be more comfortable with that. But hey, episode number 2. All right, this episode of the podcast is brought to you by the Thought Box Podcast. Did I say that right? Yes, it's brought to you by me and only me for now. That being said, if you're looking, if you're a fan of this podcast and you're looking to reach out to people, get a hold of me and set up some advertising so people can support the show and support people supporting the show. We're on this one together, everybody. Let's reach out and do this shit. You can follow us on Twitter at the ThoughtBoxPC, and please like us on Facebook, the Thoughtbox Podcast. And then if you're making it over to YouTube, subscribe to us, the Thoughtbox Podcast on YouTube, and we'll get this off the ground. I want to bring you guys some great content, and we have to spread the word to make this happen. Finally, today, I'm excited to have sitting across from me my main man, Frank Salas.
What up?
He's a self-made man who decided to control his own destiny here. Frank has been absolutely killing it in real estate lately. So if you're looking to jump into Austin's housing market, get at him. He's also traveled around the country as a motivational speaker on both schools and prisons. So he's going to tell us a little bit about that. I can't wait. And we got Periscope going on over here. What up? And if you like what you hear today, I encourage you to reach out to him, man. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
You can, if you want to reach me personally, you can go to @TalentedMrSalas or TalentedMrSalas.com. If you want to reach me on my real estate business here in Austin, Texas, #@SweetATXPads, SweetATXPads.com.
All right, that's how you get at him, at SweetATXPads.com. Okay, whatever. You all got it. You can listen to this again if you have to. Anyways, Frank, man, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
What you been up to today? There's a lot going on in Austin right now. That gay pride going on here. You make it down to any of that?
No, I actually just was out studying the real estate market. I woke up really early and put up about 50 signs for my open house I have here in a few hours.
Always hustling. Always
you know
hustling.
it.
The man never quits. The man never quits. That's why I wanted you on here. Tell me a little bit about your not your podcast, it's my podcast, your real estate deal. But first off, let's bring this up from the beginning. So, I was talking to you a little bit earlier. Born homeless, self-made to where you are now, doing everything that you're doing. Start me from the beginning here. Where did Frank Salas come from?
Frank Salas comes from Fort Worth, Texas.
Yep.
Shout out to everybody in the north side. Hey, Mom, I'm on the radio.
Yeah, that's great. On the internet, even more people say bad things to you. Don't go down to the comment section. That place is a bad territory.
It's all good. You gotta love haters, man.
Right.
Haters mean you're doing something right. So shout out to my haters. Shout out to my fans. Shout out to everybody. But Fort Worth, Texas is my hometown. That's where I came up and, was homeless for a while. Got shipped off to Mexico so my mom can kind of get established here. And
how'd you get shipped off to Mexico? They were just like, Donald Trump came in early and was like, peace out or something?
Yeah, Donald Trump was just coming in the 80s, so he was like, all you Mexicans, just get out of here.
Get out, we don't belong. That shit's ridiculous. Anyway, sorry, I digress.
Speaking of Donald Trump, I'm actually picking up a Donald Trump piñata, and I'm going to be having him on all my showings, and I'm going to tweet at Donald Trump every single day for 30 days just to get on his radar and say, even though you don't have love for us, we got love for you. And I'm taking him on my listing appointments, everything.
Beautiful. Where do you I want a Donald Trump piñata. Hang that shit in the background. Beautiful. Doesn't have shitty hair, just come forward.
It's ridiculous looking.
Shit. So how old were you when you were back down there?
I was in Mexico maybe about 2 years to 4 years, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe even 1.5 to 4 years, around that time frame.
Okay, and then you came back around 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, I hit up public school here in America and
Yeah.
started fucking shit up.
Yeah, public school. There's something to be said about public school. You get a little hard knock going.
Absolutely.
Gangster. None of that private school pussy bullshit. But hey, I ain't talking shit. You private school people are too. So when did you get into the real estate world? That's where shit? I think I even skipped over some stuff. You went to college. Did you ever make it after this public school experience?
Yeah, I went to Texas State, or as I like to call it, the Harvard of Texas.
The Harvard of Texas. Right? Okay.
So Texas State, eat 'em up cats.
Yeah.
I was there for 3 years. I worked full time. I was just getting my basics done, and I asked my professor in the entrepreneurship class. I was like, "Hey, I had this idea for a innovative tanning company. It's kind of a little bit futuristic."
Mm-hmm.
This was before spray tanning was up, and I said, "Here's my business plan. Here's what I want to do. Here's my market. I can do this, or I could go to school with Texas State, and I don't really like going to school, and I like doing this.
Yeah.
What should I do?" And the guy's like, "Man, see if you get a refund for this semester, just get out of here. And
Yeah. Okay. So when after that,
20 years
didn't
old.
even think twice, huh?
Not even twice. 20
Okay.
years old, did that and built it up to 2 locations and just got tired of that.
Mm-hmm.
Came down to the real estate, the Austin, market, and said,
what's the worst? Well, I'm gonna stop it for a second. What's
Yeah.
the worst part about the tanning deal? I feel. Do you ever deal with any high maintenance bitches that are just something ridiculous?
you know what? I love all my clients. I love all of my
I'm just
clients.
wondering, man. I get that just bad stereotype of just somebody walking in, just giving you a bad time, wanting to get their tanning bed looking like leather. But I'm not. I don't know. I'm a black dude. I don't tan too much.
No, I would say honestly, the gay guys, because I'm not gay, they would always hit on me and they would always want to go naked, and I'm a professional. So
good-looking fellas like Salas. You can't hate them for that. Can't hate them for that.
So that was probably the most challenging part, and then a lot of the ladies would always set me up with their daughters and
really?
try to get that going. So
Matchmaker?
it was a good time, but I don't mix business with pleasure during business hours.
Okay. It makes sense. I think that's a good policy to establish early on. All right, so then you got into the real estate. You fell out of that. How'd you fall into real estate?
I've always wanted to be in real estate because the idea of owning or even manipulating a piece of land, that concept was just really cool to me because I didn't have a home growing up, when I came up. And just to be able to move a piece of like a parcel of land. Yeah. It was just really cool. It's just so interesting, and to take a lot, to put buildings on it, to develop it. It really excites me, and it's something that I would nerd out on, and I do.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you're doing well. You're saying you're closing quite a few places this month, doing well for yourself. And how do people get at you again? I already forgot. I need to write this down. Yeah, so for the real estate part.
For real estate, you need to go to @SweetATXPads. That's on all social media. I'm actually broadcasting on Periscope right now. Thanks for all the hearts, everybody.
And then they get you a Twitter too. And that is Twitter.
Everything,
dude,
Instagram.
It's Sunday, man. We were out at that. I walked in that gay pride parade for a little bit with Facebook and everything. It was fun, man. We had this little Facebook like stamp, and you're just walking through, just crushing people. But they're saying ridiculous shit like, "Take your shirt off, take your pants off." I'm like, "You got what?" I'm walking in a parade. I'm confused. But it was a good time, man. Everybody got together. There was tons of love. Everybody was happy to see everybody. It wasn't anything ridiculous. So, doing real estate shit. You showing any houses today? You got a piece out of here and do some more business, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I got an open house I'm doing a little bit later. Yeah. I woke up earlier just to make sure I had about 50, 60 signs out in the neighborhood just to let people know, hey, this is where we're at. I know technology's progressed a lot, but we're still human beings. We're still very visceral. And just the fact of people seeing open house signs and big balloons and
the visual part of it. Yeah. Not going online. I went online and it was a different experience, especially from, it's, I remember growing up, we were looking for houses and everything, and you literally had to get out and take the newspaper. You had to go out to the places and walk around, and you had to coordinate with people, and you didn't have cell phones at the time. I remember, if they just didn't show up and you're just hanging out there, make it to a recent, or a gas station for a phone is ridiculous. Now you just do it online. Frank, you're just bringing it back into the yards, getting all of it. Do you promote it online at all?
Yes, I do. So I use Facebook, I use Instagram, I use Twitter. Yeah. My signs that say open house, they say, if you're lost, tweet me @SweetATXPads. If you live in this neighborhood and you want to know the home evaluation, tweet me @SweetATXPads, or follow me on Instagram @SweetATXPads. So I'm very leveraged with social media, and that's the way that all things are moving towards in general.
About communication. I mean,
absolutely.
You just got to be able to talk to people.
Absolutely.
Be able to talk to people. How long have you been doing this real estate gig?
I've been doing it for 2 years.
Oh, you're
3
doing
months.
So pretty new.
Yeah.
Relatively new, getting established.
29 days.
29 days. Had it on the clock, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. I'm really curious about this. Tell me a little bit about your motivational speaking.
Yeah.
So how'd you even get into that? What leads one to want to go walk around telling everybody the story?
Well, I'm not from the most affluent neighborhood, so a lot of people in that type of environment are programmed in their mind a certain way. Okay. And I was like that at one point in time in my life, but I always knew that there was different out there in the world. I just never experienced it. And now that I've experienced more things,
a little more cultured, a little more traveled,
I would just say just the way the world is and the way the world can be, and the way that people are and the way people can be as well. So it just really opened up my eyes, and it got me thinking about wealth and health and just so many more things.
What do you present when you go on these presentations? You do it at schools and prisons? Where'd you start out at?
I started out at my high school.
Okay.
At my high school.
Okay.
I packed up the audience. It was standing room only.
Wow, look at that. Filling the house already.
My mom works at my high school, and she was there. She even got on stage. It was cool.
Okay.
A lot of the kids there, I went to school with their older brothers or sisters or cousins and people in their family, and I was able to relate to them the neighborhoods and the experiences of just growing up there that nobody else could. And I just wanted to tell them my story, where I'd been, what I'd experienced, and I wanted to let them know that I sat in those chairs and I walked in those hallways, and I've since then, even before then, I've always been pushing myself every single day just to get to where I am now. And, for me, I'm very ambitious, so I'm always pushing myself. So no matter where I'm at, I can always be better. I always want to be moving forward.
What kind of hardships were you going through when you were in high school at that time?
Well, in my community in general, a lot of people would get pregnant. That was a big thing. A lot of the girls that were there would just have babies, and it's just very hard to move forward in life if you're a single parent, but specifically a single, Hispanic mother or, minority mother, really. And, I really...
Do you feel like they don't get placed with opportunities to, once you have a kid? Because, you can't fault them necessarily for having a kid. We are human beings.
Right.
We do reproduce.
Right.
But, after you have a kid, the means to continue to go to school or the means to get, at least the money to provide for your family, it can be difficult for people. Not everybody is just blessed. They can't always rely on their parents to help them out or any neighbors. Some people are on their own.
Right.
Is it kind of that situation where they basically are cornered into either quitting and working or pursuing other options?
What it really is, and I forget the guy's name, but he's out in Florida. What it really is daycare for the kid. There's so many hardships just to keep that kid out of trouble that the woman has to work menial jobs. She can't educate herself. She can't progress herself. And there's an entrepreneur that I wish I could remember his name right now. Oh, this is where we need your IT girl to come in.
Right, help us out.
But he would just get the social work done. So, shots, vaccinations, health, education for their kid, to give the mother some free time to be able to progress and advance herself.
Right, because it's hard you can't really, it takes time to do something new. And if, you're doing a 8 to 10 hour shift, paying the bills just to keep the lights on and food on the table, it's hard to, go to school, put in full-time work after, maybe pursue another career. Plus daycare. I don't have any little minions running around, but daycare is extremely expensive. And if, you don't want to bring your kid to some half-ass daycare and give them $20 and say, all right, good luck. You don't know what's going to, you got to bring them to a well-place. It's your kid. You got to take care of them. You're paying hundreds of dollars a month for this. It's impossible. But I digress once again. So when you get into the prisons, tell me about this.
So I got into the prison to one of my favorite organizations ever called the Toastmasters. Shout out to all the Toastmasters worldwide, baby.
So what does the Toastmasters do?
Toastmasters are a public speaking group. It's just an old school, this is our craft, and we want to be awesome.
Yeah.
Come mess with us.
You joined up with them and started going to the prisons?
So I'm the president of Austin Toastmasters here in Austin. And at the top, baby. At the top. Shout out to Austin Toastmasters. Shout out to Mike Carr at I Am Mike Carr. He just competed for the World Championship of Public Speaking from our club at Austin Toastmasters.
Look at that. Okay. When did that go down?
That went down, I want to say about 2.5 weeks ago.
How big is that? How many people? I got tons of questions for that. That seems pretty cool.
Yeah, Toastmasters, I really think you should be a part of. You're very welcome to be my very welcome guest at any time.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
So, yeah, Toastmasters, there's different districts. It's like high school football. It's like college. Yeah. There's districts, regions, areas, and there's Toastmasters Club around the world.
Okay.
So it's cool.
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. And what's the first prison you did speaking at? How was that experience? Were you welcomed to the place?
Yeah, so I show up.
Anything get out of hand?
Yeah, actually.
Oh, shit.
So every day I wake up and I say, this is my day. This is the only day that I for sure have guaranteed. Yesterday was cool, but that's already passed. I can never relive it again. I don't know if I'm going to have tomorrow, but all I know is that I at least have today.
Yeah.
And today I just got to make it fucking phenomenal.
Right.
And I wake up with that attitude, and that day when I woke up to go to the prison, this was Hayes Prison. It's a Hayes County jail here in Austin.
Okay.
So I get invited by the sheriff of Travis County to do a public speaking event because they want to bring Toastmasters inside of prisons.
Okay.
And
so this is like a debut thing for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so my name is Prez at Austin Toastmasters, and he just sent me an email, and I was Johnny on the spot. I said, this is an opportunity to network at least and bring some cool stuff to other people and give back to the community. And I jumped on it. He liked, I called him real quick, and he just liked the way that I carried myself, and he invited me over, and I spoke to some prisoners kind of impromptu. I had nothing prepared.
How many? Was it a big audience full? Where
Yeah.
they had to get some guards or do the situation? Tell me about the experience there.
Yeah.
Did you feel comfortable?
I didn't. It was kind of like scared straight.
Really?
I don't really do much crime or anything of that sorts, but it was definitely a deterrent because you walk into the prison, it's got barbed wire all over the place. There's a fence. You get scanned in everywhere. There's these big iron doors that just slam.
You hear that clink.
Oh man,
you're not getting out.
Yeah, you're not. You're not.
You're in or you're out.
And it's just, even as a visitor, you have everything stripped from you. I had to take off my watch. I had to do this. And I wasn't even feeling fresh. I had to take off my watch.
God damn.
I feel like I snatched from my jewelry.
How many people were there? How many people did you give the presentation to?
So
roughly.
It was in the chapel, which was crazy. A prison chapel is just a different experience on its own. And you walk in, and there's barbed wire everywhere. You go up, and there's just a chapel with a big stage, and there's a bunch of, just like a regular church. I want to say maybe about 400 max, 200 to 400 is like the typical people.
Okay.
So then the inmates, the men, walk in first, and I've got on a linen suit, and these guys are like criminals, people who are convicted felons and some hardcore dudes, and I'm just smiling. I was taught to always bring my best foot forward, always be the best me that I can be, and I'm not going to change that because I'm in prison. And so,
I feel like it's important to treat him as a human being.
Yes.
I know people have done stuff. A lot of people have done things that they just didn't get caught, or you hear all these scandals that come out now, and people are getting put to prison. They've been doing bad things for a long time, and they're people that got caught that made a few wrong turns, and who's to know what led to those or what circumstances did. But they're in there, and you got to treat them like a person. Somebody decided that they need whatever they did. They need to be locked in a box. I got a battery out. Time out. Technical difficulties.
Sounds like Star Wars,
right? Got some bullshit IT stuff going on. It's a new podcast. I'll get it together one day. But they decided to the fact that they need to be locked in a box and the rights taken away, and tell them that you can't do any of this, and when you get out, you got to go through all these programs. I mean, that's a big deal for people, and there's a big, you think of them as a human being, but is it hard to a little bit, when you see them all uniformly dressed and presented in front of you, some kind of show?
No, I was always taught to be just genuine, and no matter what, never judge. And even in an environment like that, there was a lot of people that I could tell. I'm really good with people, and I could tell that a lot of them were just putting up an image they had to because of X, Y, and Z. And I just let them know through my smile, through my body language, through my energy, and through my eyes that, hey, I'm a dude, and y'all gonna listen to me, and y'all gonna like what I'm about to say. I'm about to kick you in the ass.
What points did you talk about anything specific for prisons?
Yeah, I told them that I would, and I didn't say this, but this would have sucked if I said it. I said I would kill to have the opportunity, but no, I wouldn't kill to have the opportunity to be in prison.
Gonna touch some hearts. What?
Yeah, so I told them that I would love to have a bunch of time, guaranteed meals, guaranteed shelter, just to be able to read and study on the things that I need, just to get my skills up where I feel that I could be more polished or more knowledgeable. Every day I meet an industry, read an industry, or hear about something that is progressing that I'd love to be more aware of, but I just don't have the time to be informed.
Frank Salas is a busy man.
Yeah.
Busy man. He's got a network. He's got to go all over the place, take over the world. All right, so anything get out of hand at this place? Everybody well behaved?
Yes, so the guys get in up front, and there's a bunch of them that are all lined up, and then there's females in the back. And the females, are just lined up. They're wearing uniforms as well, but the gentlemen have never seen females at least for a few weeks, a few months. So they're just like hardcore looking back, and the
Megan eyes.
the security the security guard is like, "Oh, guys, keep your eyes forward." And so you can't even look at girls when you're in prison.
It's on lock.
It's on lock for
They don't
real.
want you getting any ideas.
Nothing.
Not looking at anybody. I remember I was a paramedic back up in Montana. We would get called to the local prison. And we go over, you get somebody who's, say, like, trying to commit suicide or manage to inflict a wound on themselves or got in a real bad fight. We'd show up there and they'd have to, go through all their security clearances where, like, the one door shuts and you got to go into the room and the other door shuts and the one door will open so you can get in. And, they bring you back and we go to the prison, the women's prison side, and you come through and they just be catcalling. Hey, look up here. And I'm like, is this really going on? I mean, you're making a bunch of savage beasts in here that's never seen a dude before. And I mean, I'm not the best looking dude. I think I was like 23 at the time. And I was just like, oh, this must what it feels like when like a good looking girl walks down the street and construction workers are being assholes. I'm like, never again. Never again will I do this. I felt so dehumanized. I wouldn't even believe it. But no, it's always a unique experience to see how other people try to contain other people. AKA the prison systems. But other than the can't look forward, did anybody have to be removed from your motivational speaking?
So
you're a little too motivated?
So there was at one point where I was making a point and I threw off my blazer and I rolled up my sleeves during the speech and I was just in the moment.
Yeah.
And I started walking down the aisle, like in between all these felons who, I don't know what could have happened at any given time, but I get down towards where the females are, and the females haven't seen a guy in I don't know how long, and they're just jumping up and they're doing the same thing. They're like, rah. And this one girl just starts flashing me. She starts flashing me, and they kick her out. It was ridiculous.
Showing off them titties right away.
Showing them boobies,
Well, hey, in her defense, were they presentable?
You know what?
Like something just hitting on like a thigh.
You know what? I feel like if we met under different circumstances, that might have been my wife.
Your wife, your motivational speaking. Yeah. So, what's you got any other motivational speaking things coming up, or did it just waiting to be reached out to, pursuing that yourself there?
I'm always open to public speaking opportunities, especially to kids in low income, socioeconomic statuses of such sorts. I'd love to speak to any kids. You can find me at Talented Mr. or The Talented Mr. Salas.
The Talented Mr. Salas?
Yes.
Actually, S-A-L-A-S at the end.
Yeah, and it's actually, there's no the. It's at Talented Mr. Salas. Sorry.
Got it. All right, we got it. That's on
cool.
paper for real. Okay, cool. No, reach out to him. I mean, he has a good time. I mean, the energy with this kid, we're only on camera here, but I swear to God, the second you meet him and shake his hand, he'll make your day a brighter day. No, that is good. We all got one love here. What's coming up next for the real estate world, though?
The real estate world, I just want to take it over. I want to go into developments, and I've got to focus all my attentions on being a great real estate agent right now, and just get as much capital that I can, enough cash flow, and I really want to start changing things in the real estate market. I'm looking to develop some really green technologies that make use of solar powers, recycled materials, and I want to build where people like us, millennials under 40, don't need a lot of space.
Yeah.
They want to be close to the city, and I'm looking to partner up with one of the automated vehicles and start changing the way people live around the world.
Doing some big things. Now you're talking like more high-rise structure?
Yeah. High-rise, just multi-family systems, just very, very small micro spaces. It's already been proven around the world, but if I told you exactly what it was, you'd think I was crazy, and we'd be here for like another hour. But
hey, man, I'll talk to you all day about this. It's super interesting.
Yeah.
So the dollar amount that it takes to put up these high rises downtown is almost unbelievable.
It's
what kind of dollar amounts do you work with when you're trying to start up? Even wanting to make an idea of building this high rise. Like, how much would it take?
So first off, as a developer, you're going to spend several $1,000s just to get an engineer to come out and give you some type of feedback of the property. You got to hire a lot of consultants, and as a developer, it's always on you to figure out what do I really need and what is just extra. But that extra has its benefits, and that's all on you. Then after that, you've got to go out and find financing, whether that's through a bank, through people that you know, investors, what your network. Usually it's your network. That's typically the best way, but I want to get to a level where I've got banks like Chase and these type of banks wanting to do business with me.
Yeah.
And
well, if you pursue, I mean, I firmly believe that, with that go-getter attitude and making these business decisions to make better living communities. I mean, it's important to have, you can't just throw up a shack and let people live in it. I mean, you can, but what are you really doing for the community? You got to get a good developed, like you said, where you can have the type of living that the person wants that's not 1,000 miles from where they want to go. I'm really liking the downtown where they're having the stores on the first level and the eateries on the first level with the living above that. If you're going to live that experience, that's perfect. I wish I could just hit on the elevator, go downtown, and get some breakfast real quick instead of having to cook it up myself. I mean, it's a big benefit, I think, of those types of living. But, excuse me, jeez, I'm done. We got this coffee, or not this coffee, this tea is solid. He brought me some Earl Grey, some special tea. Where'd you get that tea from, by the way?
So I got this tea from one of my clients in the UK. Shout out to Jenny Evans and the Evans family. I got them a ranch.
It's amazing. They're my favorite people. He brought this all the way to me and gave me some. We cooked some of that. That's amazing. It's great.
Yeah.
They're in the UK. How'd you meet these people?
I met them through my company, Remax. Remax is a global company, and it was a referral. That's why I love
Just
Remax.
Networking everywhere.
Everywhere,
all over the world. So, did you started with Remax and stayed with Remax? They were yours from the beginning?
I started with a boutique firm here in Austin, Texas. And I just wanted to align myself with a company that was more global, that, allowed me to leverage technology and my personality, and able to connect with other human beings across the world.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, hey, man, I think we got to wrap this up a little bit here. I had a good time. I'd love to talk to you about and at least check in on where things are going. Building the empire, Mr. Frank Salas. Once again, everybody, if we like what we're doing here, I'm trying to bring you some interesting people, and, we have a good time. So please, your support is much appreciated. Please follow me on Twitter at TheThoughtBoxPC. Go to our Facebook page, give us a like there, The Thoughtbox Podcast, and then subscribe to us on YouTube here. And if you want to get a hold of Mr. Frank Salas the Great, hit him up at Sweet ATX Pads for Twitter, and at Talented Mr. Salas, Salas, if you want to get at him for some motivational speaking. Things of such that? Man, I can't talk. We did a morning show. You can tell it's early on a Sunday. This kid needs more coffee. Anyways, had a good time, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Let's do this.